Welcome back in to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Express Frame. And there's no better place to go to get stuff framed, and there's nothing, it's the 4th of July. What could be more American than baseball? So what you see here is a poster, it's a very simple poster from the 99 All-Star Game up at Fenway Park. And the beauty of Fast Frame, you always hear me telling they turn anything into a work of art. The poster is just this middle stuff. They triple matted this. The blue is a matte, the red is a matte, the green is a matte, then you get to the poster. And they just turned it into an absolute work of art. Now, I was at that game with John Wilkerson, and this thing looks as good as new because it's been behind museum glass. That's what Express Frame does. And I was going to say, you and I have not been behind museum glass because we do not look the same as we did 22 years ago. Let's talk about this team. Again, you've covered Vol baseball. You were in the number 2 chair with Mike Keith in '95. That first, pack your bags, Mom, we're going to Omaha. That famous team. Then you moved to the number 1 chair for the last 3 World Series trips. Where does this team rank? I mean, they were personality-wise. It was a different kind of team. The players all had a big personality. They had a little bit of that, some call it swagger. If it's your team, you say it's swagger. If it's another team, they're showboats. They had a little bit of the bat flipping stuff going on. Where does this team rank for you in terms of favorite years that you've covered, favorite teams that you've covered?
This was an awesome team to cover simply for the fact that there was, one, the unexpected. And you just knew that somebody, somewhere, whether it be defensively, on the mound, or at the plate, was going to make the play that came up at the huge moment. You had so many different guys have a hand in it. This is as determined and as gritty a team. I think it's the toughest team of the 4. If you're going to pin me down and make me pick a favorite, I'd probably go with 95, simply for the fact that when Tennessee wound up in Omaha, 19 guys. 19. If anything happens to Ed Lewis at second base or Matt Whitley at short, who knows what happens? Scott Vieira was going to be the catcher. He wound up playing at third. Ray Espinoza was just an Iron Man. Scott Schreffel played center and was a part of the starting rotation. I mean, it was just amazing how you got down to 19 guys that made that trip to Omaha. So that would be team number 1, but since Chucky C's not here, I'll Cavaleris the question. I love the fact that it was us against the world in 1995, and that's what it was. Tennessee winning a second straight SEC championship, kicks down the door, goes back to Omaha for the first time in 45 years. 2001, Chris Burke leads. It's the next megastar that Tennessee baseball has had. He co-authored the record book with what he did in finishing his time in Knoxville. 05, probably the most talented team that's represented Tennessee in the College World Series. When you take a look at the Clemens Award winner in Luke Hochevar, SEC batting champ Chase Headley, you have another first-round pick in Eli Orge, and you have youngsters like James Adkins, J. Pierre Ancibia, and Julio Bourbon that were also a part of that team. This team is the most determined, the most focused, the most locked in of the 4. So each has their own special place in doing something very different. And the way the 01 team went to East Carolina, beat a 50-win team in their backyard to get to the College World Series is one of the greatest experiences ever.
I just want to say it's a shame you're not passionate about it. That's the disappointing thing.
That's part of the draw to John.
Absolutely it is.
Passion and talking, breaking those down. It's awesome.
Absolutely it is. Vince, this was your first World Series trip. So favorite team, or did you like one of those? Or did you like one of those 10-win teams?
Dude, no offense to any of those guys that wasn't in the first year of Todd Riley. But no, this team had the flair for the dramatic with the 7 walk-off wins, the 4 walk-off home runs. You guys mentioned the personality, the toughness, and then the high level of play. And that makes it enjoyable for everybody, including us. Tony Vitello, such a personable coach, so available to come on the radio all the time. He just always impresses you. Just top to bottom, there weren't any holes or weaknesses with this team from a personality, likability standpoint, and ability standpoint. It was amazing how much fun this team and this year was.
Looking forward to next year already?
Yes. Can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, the draft coming up. See who Tennessee loses. They have the number 2 player in the class, in Brady House, that is projected top 10 pick. So you got to see who Tennessee loses in the draft.
Well, that's another thing that you throw into baseball that's different about football. Not only you're not going to have the transfer portal that's an issue, but boy, you put together a great recruiting class, and then 3 of those guys get drafted early and they're gone. They never show up.
Yeah.
That is not an easy sport to build. So congratulations to Tony Vitello. Congratulations to you guys for getting a great year to cover. John, thanks for being with us today.
Sure do appreciate it, John. Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Always good to see you. Vince, thanks for being here. We'll see you guys again soon. Have a good rest of your 4th of July. We will see you right back here next Sunday. Thanks from all my sponsors. See you then.